Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for October 8th through the 14th, 2018. So let's just take a moment to relax and to just focus on our breaths for a moment, and just being very aware and centered upon our heart chakra. And they're aligning with the clarity of God within you. And see this aspect of yourself shimmering brilliantly as a beautiful, luminous light that is expanding throughout your entire being. Just let it fill the space where you're presently sitting, as if you can imagine the room being brightly lit by this source of love that resides within your heart. And that it's creating a firewall of protection, of clarity, purity, truth, peace, and unconditional love. And just allow it to expand as far as your imagination will allow, and as far as you allow your presence to exist. Feel yourself everywhere. Understanding the power of your truth and the effect that your life, the influence that your light and your life has on the rest of the world. And so as we tune in to the messages for this week, just sort of get a sense of what's coming forward for us, what is happening within us. I am seeing the third eye, and it's just gradually expanding. And at the same time, I'm seeing sort of the rear view mirror that's in your car, it's in your window shield, seeing that inside of the third eye. So this gives you a dual perspective. There's an awareness of what's in front of you, but also what's behind you. And they were showing me a cross. And they want to emphasize this, what we just said, about being able to see what's in front of you and yet have an awareness of what's happening behind you. And they were showing me a cross, which is my symbol for suffering. And the sense that I'm getting about this is that there are some things that you haven't always been aware of, and maybe let me just take a moment because it seems really important how this is coming across. So they're writing the word day as if they really want you to be focused in the moment, in the present. And I get a sense that you keep looking back at something, that you're using this process, this gift of your third eye, your spiritual gifts, your spiritual insights, to look back at suffering, to examine pain. But I don't get a sense that you are looking at it with a sense of mastery. So it they write not the word fatal. It's as if um, the way you're looking at this sort of gives you dead end results. It's not um, enhancing or but there's this sense that the things that have happened to us in our lives, and I feel like they're holding my hand. Um, we look back at things because we wish things could have been better, and we don't accept that everything happens as it needed to happen in order to prepare you or um, to incite or to um, sort of set something in motion, that choices and that you would end up making. Now, this is not against your free will. That's not it at all. But there is no error that does not eventually benefit you, benefit the entirety of your life. So we look at our lives in facets, but it's never seen from the divine perspective of you, any facet without the whole. Now, and so the idea here is that sometimes when we look at a facet, we're excluding the whole picture. And it's the whole picture is where everything is coming from, where the next moments or next opportunities or even the possibilities are being created, are being materialized, are being intensified. They're flowing through the entirety, not just the facets. The facets all contribute, but not one alone is making the decision. So it's this idea that since they sort of did this rear view mirror thing with the third eye, which kind of brings a sort of a analogy of driving, right? This is not one particular facet that's driving your life by itself, but it's the whole picture. And so when you only examine a facet and not look or be aware of the whole picture, and sometimes you're not going to be able to see the whole picture. We're so big on needing to see, but sometimes we're not going to see the whole picture. Sometimes that means you're not going to understand something. You're not going to understand the reason why something has happened. You're just not going to see it. And if you strain to see it, it's not going to become clearer, because the clear answer for you is not available right now, because the facets are in the process of contributing to the changes that the whole is in the process of becoming. And that means that what you're stuck with, and this is the word they just wrote out interrupting what I was saying, are feelings. You're stuck with feelings. And I think that phrase, stuck with feelings, is purposely flowing through right now, because that's what we do. We get stuck in the feelings that the soul is sharing, that the soul is processing. The stuck and processing are not the same. A process isn't anything about being stuck at all. Something is moving. Something is happening, right? Something is unfolding, shifting, becoming. And we tend to get stuck in the feelings. And so if in those moments when you don't have an answer for your feelings, but you know what you're feeling, this is the time not to try to minimize them, suppress them, or to get away from them, and not to even stare them down. So all the options that you would think are necessary. Um, the thing is to just trust that those feelings are inspiring a movement within you. You may feel lost, but that suffering of loss is inspiring a movement within you. They're writing the word born. Something, you're giving birth to something that you don't have the full picture of yet. But it is inspiring as you're living it and breathing it and all the things that are going on, and even the choices that you may make that from the human perspective may be irrational in response to the feelings, all of it, whether they be quote unquote right or wrong, in the vision of truth, they are a part of a movement that is being given birth through you. And so they would ask you to not judge the facets that you're aware of, not only because these facets are coming up through you, but they're also facets that each one of us, the other person or the event or situation, is also holding, and you may only be picking up on the facets which reflect some response within you, but still not seeing the whole picture. Yet you are seeing with your physical eyes, but you're not seeing with your spiritual eye the entire picture. And you won't be able to understand it until the movement has processed and has become a life. And that life, that is, they're writing the word, this happens every day, all day long. This is what is happening to us. And we know that at some moment a light bulb goes off where the movement that is unfolding, that's processing, becomes so strong and so significant and timely that an idea goes off. An idea takes form. And when you get the aha of the idea, they write the word easy. That's when it's easy for you now to be receptive of the answer of that the idea presents. You're ready for it then. So in this moment, you are stuck with the feelings. You're stuck with the rawness. You're stuck with uncertainty. You're stuck with I hate to put this word out, but you're stuck with, paranoia and suspicion and anxiety. These are the things that we're stuck with. But you're not stuck if you recognize you don't have to feel so stuck. And I think this is what they're trying to help you with. You don't have to feel as stuck as it's possible for you to feel, and that you may already be feeling, if you recognize that you're only seeing a facet. You're not seeing the full picture. You're not seeing the movement evolving from the thing that's causing you to suffer right now, where you're stuck, things look bleak and hopeless, and you're feeling lost about everything. But in that toss up, a movement is being stirred within you, a purpose. And that's where you need to give yourself a little room by holding on to your faith that life is always presented in evidence. Things, when we keep our arms open, things get better. Something good falls into our embrace, if you will. So be patient with the bigger picture. But in the meantime, now there is that focus on those facets that shine, that just reflect so much light into your heart and inspire joy. It radiates a sense of purpose, connection. It radiates alignment and possibilities, creative possibilities, solutions. So this is where we need to be right now, is be aware. So don't get stuck in the feelings, but now be aware of any movement in your life. What is this all inspiring you to? How is it inspiring you to focus? Because that is the beginning of that idea taking form, materializing, and cultivating the choices of your life, cultivating the changes in your life that will bring you the experiences that will fulfill you and fulfill the greater good, help bring fulfillment to others. That is really one of the big aspects of us that seems to always motivate and push us forward, is our desire to contribute to not only just fulfill our own lives and make ourselves happy, but to be able to give in a way and receive that gives back. You know, it's a great thing to be able to have something and then to be able to, that thing that you have shines a light into others' lives and gives them a piece of it that they can take, a facet of it that they can take and integrate into their whole. All right, so let's see where this is all going. You know, because even as I'm talking to you, I kind of now get a sense of how this may be appropriate to this week, but, you know, they don't focus on one particular thing. They're not trying to ever make a point, but they're just trying to be present, to shine a light that allows you to open your own light. Because the universe doesn't have an agenda to sort of navigate you through life. The only agenda is to help you to to have the life that fulfills you. It's hard sometimes. The words, I feel them, and that feeling vibration has possibilities, and it's about finding that right um, set of words that match that feeling. And it's such an extraordinary feeling, each one of them. They're so specific and so unique, and words just don't really capture them, but we must. That's our way here to communicate. But but you also feel them, and there's something in that too. When we don't understand, we get these feelings, which I call downloads. They're like chunks of vibration, and they speak to our heart, even when we're in despair or whatever emotion that we're having that's sort of dragging us in another direction that's not in the direction of our truth. But we feel it, and we sometimes ignore it because we don't feel like articulating it, because we don't feel like being unstuck, and that's okay too. But when you do feel it, if you know what I'm talking about, it's very profound. And so be aware of this love, this information, this balance that's always working, a movement within you. So let's take a look at the card. Okay, we haven't had this card in a very long time. And this is Archangel Jophiel. And the card is titled Outdoors. Archangel Jophiel's name means the beauty of God. I kind of think of her as the interior decorator, spa, sort of archangel, and always she can inspire you through beauty, and invites you to, when you get stuck in the ugliness of feelings, that she reminds you that there is beauty all around you. There's beauty everywhere, right alongside that ugliness. And I'll never forget a good example of this for me, and I hope it's not offensive, but when I was here during, this is just my experience, during 9/11, those years ago, and it was horrific, but what was so beautiful was the love that started to pour through, and I really felt it being here in the city. The love was everywhere. It was like everybody's hearts just opened up, and although they didn't reach out, but you felt like people would have wanted to take care of you in a sense, in an energetic sense. They wanted to embrace you with love, to make sure you were okay, even though they needed it too, because you get what I mean. But it's a beautiful thing that during grief or any situation, that love is always alongside those horrible feelings. I never forget when I lost my mother, and the things that friends did for me to help me to get home for my mom's funeral. The several friends did the most beautiful things to make sure that I could get there. Same thing happened when I was in college, in high school. One of my high school voice teacher had arranged for the church where I was singing. It was the most horrible thing. It was like I thought it was my whole life, and it took me a long time to get over my grandmother's death. 20 years I really grieved her. But in that moment, I'll never forget that this church where I was a soloist in high school, first official job, had provided me with the airfare to get home. I mean, it's not something that my mother could afford to do more than the times that we had planned to do it while I was in college. So it's that we need to remember that, and so that Archangel Jophiel brings us this kind of perspective alongside of things that we may be grieving in our lives right now, and things that we don't understand in our lives or in the world right now. We're only seeing right now, because we're stuck in the feelings, we're only seeing the perspective, the facet. We're not seeing the movement, that the various facets that are lit up, the movement that they're creating in the whole of each individual, of each community, and the world itself. So we need to be clearly reminded that we are in the midst of a movement, and the movement on a spiritual level is our planetary ascension, which started from 2012, which will go until 2032, according to various people who are experts about this whole ascension path, going from the third dimension to the fifth dimension. And that third dimension is about feeling stuck, and a lot of the things that we're seeing going on in our world that we feel stuck in is because of our three-dimensional framework, the framework of the mind that is, and these various things that are unfolding, these movements, these facets that are playing with us, and sometimes some of them cause us to suffer or have regret or whatever, but they grieve us, but they are breaking through those walls of the three dimension and taking us into the fourth dimension, enlightenment, and eventually fifth dimension, where we see with freedom the choices that we have, and we are able to act upon them with freedom, without restraint, with that the three dimension locked us into. So we'll still have contrast, but won't feel stuck. We'll feel there'll be a sense of fluidity, and freedom that goes along. Those two things go along together. So don't let the grind, the process, bog you down. Okay? Don't let the process bog you down. And there's a lot of things going on so many levels, so many facets of our universe is active. And even though you are whole, but you also have facets, and your facets are contributing to the facets of the universe, and all those facets are interplaying, and it's dynamic. It truly is dynamic. And there's not one facet, no matter where it seems to be coming from, that is not playing a positive role in the movement. And the general movement is this ascension, and we're leaping two dimensions in this 20-year period. Okay? So, all right, so the card message says, go outside, get some fresh air, and connect with nature to relieve stress and gain new creative ideas. This movement is taking you outside of your comfort zone. It's taking us all outside. It's making us look at, and it's juxtaposing the ugliness and the beauty. But we're gonna find the beauty. You're gonna find the whole. Anything that is not complete is not real beauty. Because if you're only looking at it from parts of it, how can you know what you really have? And so you're making a quick judgment that you may not be happy with in the end. So don't then, at this point, at this juncture, in the process, in the movement, don't lose heart. Either way, don't lose heart. No matter what the sides are about and what their positions are, it's all going to come together. We're going to all meet at the whole. And the whole is balance. It's all in alignment and it's all beautiful. There won't be any ugliness. And not to say the contrast won't be there, because the contrast is what keeps the movements of a creation flowing. This is the intention, that their expansion is infinite. But how we see it, right now we're seeing it all through the three-dimensional, so we're stuck in our areas, right? Okay? So, all right, but when we get to the whole, we'll all first have respect and then be able to move forward without being stuck. All right, so wow, this is a big message for a card that just looks like go outside this week. All right, we've gone over, so let's take a look at the cards for the beginning of the week, and let's trust that the time will be all in hand in the universe. So, the Kings of Wands or Spring, as it says here, this is about the vision. This is one of the fire signs, Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. But the thing about the King of Wands, one of the key words that sticks out for me is one being a visionary, a powerful visionary, one who has focus and a strong leadership, especially because he's a king, mastery of over this element, and is very confident. And so there, in terms of this applying to you right now in your life, this is what this movement is helping you to do, to really sharpen your vision, to become focused in something that you're passionate about. The contrast is helping you to discover what you're passionate about. The facets are helping you to find the whole of who you are in this moment. This does not mean that this is all that you will become, but it means that you have enough contrast, which is a contrast. Let's call it opportunity. You have enough contrast surrounding you to create a singular passion, a focus for this moment. And the call is that you live it big and trust your vision, trust your the direction that you want to take this vision in, and be behind it 100%, and don't let anyone or anything talk you out of this. So if there's something that you're really keen on right now, trust it and believe in it and go forth with it. And what a card to follow. The Magician card, right? Which is saying you can do it. You have the focus that spark. Something has happened. Something major. So with the Major Arcana card here, and being the number 1, some thought or idea, it's major for you. It also means it's important to you. And it's important to the movement that is occurring within you. So stand, be focused, single in mind. Yes, there's a lot of contrast, there's a lot of suffering, and there's a lot of stuff, and a lot of things to feel things about, and to feel all kinds of things about whatever it is, and to be in opposition, all this. But the thing is, what is it that all of this is causing you to focus upon? What's the movement it's creating in you? What's the fire that's burning? What's springing forth in you right now? And stay focused on your path. There's a lot of things happening. So you got the contrast, but there's a path that it's creating. It's like the contrast creates the path in the middle that you walk through. So you're now ready to walk on it, and you know what it is, and you can pretend like you don't, but that's only a delay tactic. So why not embrace it and go for it? All right, let's take a look at the card for the end of the week. Now, we've been seeing this card. This is like the third week that this card has come up. We've been having cards come up like 3 times, whether it's the theme card from the Archangels, but now this card here has been coming. And this card is about taking a chance with that new opportunity. So this could either be a new opportunity, a new job opportunity, a new business venture idea that you have, or you have this really crazy out of the box idea, proposition that you need to investigate. You need to explore it. You need to bring some people to the table that you feel would really admire this, or that they would really be excited about it. Call the like minds together, but don't be afraid to call people too that can offer you some slightly different perspective. Don't be afraid of contrasting points of view or disagreement, because what we're learning here is that the contrast forms a movement, and a movement is about a path, a purpose. You have somewhere to go, just like you see this magician standing on that narrow path. It's not wide, it's narrow, but it's a path. It's not popular, but it's a path. And when your soul steps forward, it doesn't invite, many new friends. So you have this wide path that people want to stand on it with you, because a lot of people are not going to get it because they're on their path. They're looking for theirs. And so it may feel lonely, but you're not alone, because you have direction. You don't need to worry about who's standing there supporting when this thing is snowballing, when it's moving somewhere, when it's inside of you, it's got you going. Your heart's just turning and your mind is spinning with ideas. So take that vision, take those ideas and turn it into a vision, turn it into a purpose. Move it forward now. Whatever this is with you, move it forward. Whether it's something specific and for you in your life, or it puts you on a world stage, on a community stage, to lead, to stir a movement. But whatever it is, go with it. Okay? You can do it. Get outside of yourself. This is the time for you. Your soul is going to bring freedom. It's going to, when the soul comes, this is something that they said the other day, and you'll find it in, I think, the message, daily card message from Monday. I think I can remember. But they were telling me, when your soul comes forward, things pop. Things are going to pop. So don't try to stay inside your comfort zone, because you're going to have to get outside of that comfort zone. You got to go outside. You got to see what's out that's new, get some fresh air, get outdoors of yourself. Don't think that you're going to be able to stay in that place of limitation. Okay. So here we have the 10 of winter, and this kind of speaks to what we're saying here, because this is the card I feel in my mind right now. I'm hearing this is the card that blows your mind. Like at this point, you like the 9 and the 8. It was like you felt stuck in the 8 and the 9. You're racking your brain. You're still trying to control. You're just like worried, because that's what worry is. Don't get wrong. Worry is not a weakness. It's a form of control. But with the 10 of winter, it's like it's all blown. That's why they show the ruin. Like you have no choice now. It's all blown. It's like this just blows your mind. This is the blows your mind card, which means that you have to start over. it's going to feel like you're starting over. It's not the end, but it's the but it's the catalyst for a new beginning where you have to start. So, and this doesn't mean, negative, but that's up to you, because we don't like change, and change is just what it is. But we interpret change based on which frame of mind we're coming from, whether it's our ego or our source alignment. So if you're coming from source, that's opportunity. If it's coming from your ego, oh, my life is over, blah blah blah, that whole story that we spin. So um, this is an opportunity for what's going underlying in this whole week is that this movement is breaking you free from the restraints of your mind. And since this suit winter swords is about the mind, that would be that three-dimensional frame. If the winter swords card really shows the three dimension, how we're stuck, all the difficulties. And this card is seen to be the worst card because it means death in some instances, but it's the death of that framework. And that's what's happening right now with you and within communities and on the world stage. That framework is being blown. So don't be afraid of the contrast. First of all, this card shows when it's blown, then spring comes. And look, we're stuck in between the two spring cards. And the contrast, don't be afraid of the contrast right now. It's forging a path. You and I are safe. But now we need to get outdoors of ourselves and start looking around for all that's springing up. Once you find it, be open to it, learn from it, then direct it with vision. Let's not be afraid of this advent of spring in our souls. This is a time of rebirth for our souls and for our personalities, for our consciousness. So may God bless you in this week and move in this movement, and I know and trust that you will prosper. Trust that we will prosper as the whole. Don't get stuck in the facets. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for staying here and listening to all of this. And we never know what's coming out, but we show up every week. And thank you for being a part of this. And if you're looking for an angel reading, you can go to my webpage, theangelschool.com. If this is a time where you're feeling like you want to know where you are, okay, and what's sort of unfolding with you, this would be a good reason to have a reading. If you haven't joined the channel, or if you haven't been on the channel for a while and you're just joining us again, welcome, subscribe, and share. Also, if you haven't been to the Daily Card Messages, my Facebook page, there's a link below as well. You can also, I think, read through Twitter. So check all these things out. And if you didn't see the Dragon Oracle card video, I posted that yesterday. And check out those dragon cards because they really are very helpful with this whole ascension process. It's been so profound what I've gained from working with those cards. So have a beautiful week, everyone, and God bless you. Peace.